Yo, what's good? What's good, people, man? Hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. We on our way to this 3,000. Call me Mr. 3000. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. Anybody who knows me personally, they know how much I feel about Griselda. Uh, Came up on these dudes a couple years ago out of Buffalo, and it means a lot to me as a fan because I'm a fan of that. I love all kinds of hip hop, but my favorite growing up in New York, that East Coast New York gritty sound, was my, you know, the soundtrack for everything. I loved it. That's just the type of hip hop that I'm into the most, biasly or whatever. And for a long time, I think Nori spoke on it when they did that Kanye versus 50 battle in '07. It kind of shifted the landscape of where hip hop went. 50 was like the last big East Coast rapper. He was kind of like the last stance for that generation. And once Kanye, won the war or whatever, sold the records, and it became the Kanye West backpack run. Artists like Kanye, Kid Cudi, Lupe Fiasco, and then Lil Wayne in the South was doing their thing, and East Coast gritty hip hop kind of had gotten basically evaporated. And what happened was they neglected millions of fans like myself who came up on that sound, and we were neglected for many years. And unless you were digging in the crates really to find some new shit, you had to keep relying on old reliable and going back and listening to old albums from the 90s and old mixtapes. And eventually, me personally, I got fatigued. I got tired of listening to the old stuff, trying to bring back and resurrect that feeling. And then I lucked up and found these dudes, and I was like, here it go. They got the beach. They on the wrestling shit. I'm a wrestling fan. I was like, yo, this was like peanut butter and jelly to me. You know what I mean? Best shit since 10 years. Griselda's the best thing to happen in hip hop for me in the last 10 years, by far. And, you got the three members, West, Benny, Conway. Now, West and Conway are brothers, different mothers, same father. And Benny's the little cousin. Wes and Conway had the Hall and Nash shit jumping off, and the Fly Guy. Benny was locked up. Benny came out, and it's like Benny came out and took off first. He was more relatable than Wes, I guess, because the voice difference, the punchlines, and a lot of people was like, Benny, 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 Tana Talk 3 plugs out, man. I was like, yeah, that shit is dope. I fuck with it. Tana Talk 3 is a classic. But I said, yo, it's something about the nigga with the scowl on his face, the Conway nigga. And they was like, yeah, he's cool. And I was like, yo, y'all are wildin'. And a year and a half ago, I was telling people he was my favorite member, and they was like, nah, he number 2, man. Benny. Conway smoked everything in 2020. He outworked his own label, which is probably the hardest working label in the group, because Griselda, them niggas work harder than Mexicans in the Sunshine. But he put out, 3 albums last year? Conway killed it. And then, guys probably weren't together as much because after they did the What Machine Gun Do tour in early 2020, COVID came and everybody was at home. And Benny and West, they both live in Atlanta. Conway is still up in Buffalo, and all he do is record, smoke weed, and pop bottles. Very simple guy, talented, wordplay, syllables, delivery. I relate to his shit more. And now there's these rumors coming out that Conway might be leaving Griselda. And they did this movie called Conflicted, kind of like went back. And the thing about Griselda is they're resurrecting a lot of old shit. Like, remember soundtracks? We came up on movie soundtracks. Every movie had a soundtrack piece. So they put out this movie Conflicted, kind of like a street hood rap movie, however you want to take it. No Limit had the Hot Boys. Rockefeller had State Property. So they got this Conflicted movie. It's got Michael Rappaport in it. I haven't watched it, but the soundtrack is pretty cool. And fans were like, well, why isn't Conway in the movie or on the soundtrack? So now people are looking like, where's Conway? Where's Conway? And Conway, I don't know if he's trolling, but he kind of responds to the fans and says stuff that they want to hear because they want to hear it. They want to know if he's really down or not, and he's trolling. So then he posted a pic last night, talking business, getting deals done, and he tags this artist I think that he signed. Her name is Seven the Genius, and he's trying to do his own thing and sign artists up under him, kind of like. He signed up under West. Benny signed up under West. As a group, they was under Shady. They did the one album, and then they moved on from Shady or whatever. What really it was just Khan and Benny that was on. Not Benny. Khan and West that was on Shady. But they did that. So the source, I remember when the source used to be the source, nigga. When the source was the source, and they had the, it was official if it came from the source. So the source has reported the rumor also. Now, Wes ain't saying shit. You know, Wes is out here with the Hurt Business on the WWE tip, doing records with MVP and Wale and all of that. He about to prep his new album, Hitler West Hermes 8. That shit gonna be fire. He's not retiring. And, you know, I just hope it's not true. I mean, these brothers are family. They probably the closest group out since the Locks. They're family. Like, blood family. Like, these niggas is brothers and cousins. I don't see the reason why. Somebody was saying, well, Benny and Wes haven't been really fucking with Derringer lately. Derringer's like the in-house producer. And I said, yeah, you got a point. And I remember me and my boy Stringer did the review, and I said, you know what was missing from that Benny album? It didn't feel like the typical classic Griselda album because there was no Derringer production. It was all Hit Boy. And Hit Boy was arguably the best top 5 producer last year. Hit Boy was killing it. He did a lot of work for Benny and West, but he didn't really do much for Conway, if anything at all. Conway kept it classic, vintage, and he worked mainly with the usuals. You know, Uncle Al, Alchemist, Derringer. Conway kept it simple, and I think that was why he had the better response to his music. Where Benny kind of got some mixed reviews from that album, but it was still dope. Kanye's album was just, niggas was blown away by that. You know, and maybe that's why some people are getting their heads up. But, you know, people like drama and negativity more than positivity. So people are drawn to it, and it's intriguing, you know, to see if these dudes is going to break up. But I hope not, you know what I mean? I appreciate what them brothers did. Like I say, they resurrected my fandom again, because I had lost, I was like a kid who found out wrestling was fake. I stopped watching. I just didn't give a fuck anymore. My passion for hip hop was completely dead for a long time, and then these brothers came and kind of like revived me and made me interested in this shit again. So, you know, they mean a lot to me personally. But all hell's, you know, whatever. If it's true, you know, I'll still support Conway and I'll still support Wes and Benny. But you know, swords make other swords sharp. Hopefully, it's just some bullshit blow over. And they just like, fuck it, we gonna let the fans think what they want to think and troll them to death. But it's nothing official yet. But you know, I can see what some people are saying that. Well, you know, music wise, you know, the movie. Maybe Conway didn't want to be in that damn movie. Is the movie good? And somebody was saying, man, rap movies always be terrible. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes they're car wrecks. You're not good, but you can't stop from watching. Because if you go back and watch like old movies like starred rappers like Hot Boys, State Property, a lot of them really ain't that good. The acting was bad, but it was something entertaining about it that kept you alert, kept you watching. I'm gonna have to check out that Conflicted movie, but let me know what y'all think. If these rumors is bullshit, if Conway, excuse, I keep saying Kanye, if Conway the Machine is leaving Griselda. I'm out.